Iran moves to humiliate Trump, fires a fresh wave of missiles just hours after his claim of productive talks and escalation with Tehran.
Mr. President, Iran's foreign ministry says you're not telling the truth when it comes to productive conversations.
Well, they're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. We have had very, very strong talks.
While Trump talks of negotiating, the IRGC declares it is negotiating through operations and hammers Israel's strategic core with its 78th wave of attacks. Emad and multi-warhead Qadr ballistic missiles are now being used to batter Israel's nuclear lifeline around Dimona and the southern front. Mujtaba's forces rain cluster-capable warheads and bomblets on the Haifa area, as Iranian missiles once again test Israel's air defenses along the northern coast. After Trump publicly delays strikes on Iranian energy infrastructure, key gas and power sites in Isfahan and Khorramshahr take a hit in new raids. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced that it had launched the 78th wave of Operation True Promise 4 on March 23, continuing its ongoing retaliatory campaign. In this latest wave, Iran said it targeted highly sensitive Israeli locations, specifically naming Dimona, Tel Aviv, and Eilat as key areas under attack. According to the IRGC statement, the strikes employed Emad ballistic missiles, multi-warhead Qadr missile systems, and armed drones to hit the designated targets. Iran noted that the city of Dimona, which hosts Israel's main nuclear reactor complex, was being targeted for the second time within days. Iranian outlet Press TV earlier claimed that a previous counterstrike on Dimona and the nearby city of Orod caused more than 200 casualties, including dead and wounded. The IRGC further asserted that several U.S. military bases across the Middle East were also struck during the 78th wave of Operation True Promise 4. The IRGC statement read, quote, "The 78th wave of Operation Sadek Promise 4, supported by the clenched fists of the great Iranian nation in the streets and the missiles of the brave soldiers in the field, which were delivered to the American and Zionist aggressors under the rain tonight, marked a different record in the history of war. In this operation, which is carried out with the sacred code or the reason of the adversaries, the noble people of the eastern strip of the country, including North Khorasan, Razavi, South Khorasan, and Sistan and Baluchistan, the heroes of this wave, targets in Eilat, Dimona, and north of Tel Aviv and some of the bases of the American terrorist army in the region were precisely hit by the multi-warhead Emad and Qadr point-of-care systems and destructive drones." The Israel Defense Forces reported that it detected an overnight Iranian ballistic missile attack directed at Jerusalem and central parts of Israel. The Iranian missile barrage triggered air raid sirens in Ashkelon, Beit Shemesh, and multiple surrounding communities, sending residents into shelters. Video evidence indicated that a missile aimed at the Haifa area was equipped with a cluster bomb warhead, dispersing submunitions over the target zone. One of these cluster munitions damaged a residential home in a suburb of Haifa, showing clear blast and fragmentation effects on the structure. Emergency medical teams and rescue services responded quickly to the impact site, and authorities reported that no physical injuries were recorded in that specific incident. In northern Israel, officials said one man suffered light injuries after stepping on a fragment from a missile, highlighting the danger from residual debris. Israel's health ministry stated that it is treating several people for severe anxiety and stress reactions following the missile attacks, even when no direct injuries occurred. Amid these developments, Iranian media reported that 2 energy sites inside Iran were hit by airstrikes on March 24, despite earlier US statements about pausing such attacks. The reported targets included natural gas infrastructure in Isfahan and a gas pipeline supplying the Khorramshahr power plant, raising concerns about power and gas supplies. These strikes were reported after President Trump said the US would postpone attacks on Iranian energy infrastructure for 5 days, as part of a de-escalation signal. Trump also claimed that the United States and Iran had held talks aimed at resolving the wider Middle East conflict, suggesting a possible diplomatic channel. Trump's message on Truth Social read, quote, "I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had, over the last 2 days, very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. Based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period, subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Thank you for your attention to this matter." However, Iranian reports said that Trump's claims were rejected by Iran's parliament speaker, who who denied that such negotiations were taking place. On March 23, the IRGC stated that it is negotiating with aggressors through impact-driven operations, signaling that it views continued missile and drone strikes as its primary response.
Mr. President, Iran's foreign ministry says you're not telling the truth when it comes to productive conversations to end the
Well,
war.
they're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces. They're unable to talk to each other. But we've had very strong talks. Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner had them. They went, I would say, perfectly. I would say that if they carry through with that, it'll end that problem, that conflict. And I think it'll end it very, very substantially. We have very much in mind our partners in the Middle East. We've had great relationships with a lot of them, as you know. A lot of them were surprisingly hit, and I was surprised to see it, and so was everyone else. But we have, they're very much in mind in the discussions. So the discussions took place yesterday. They went into yesterday evening. They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal too. We're going to get together today by probably phone, because it's very hard to find a country. It's very hard for them to get out, I guess. But we'll at some point very, very soon meet. We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we just keep bombing our little hearts out.
Who are you speaking with, Mr. President?
A top person. Don't forget, we've wiped out the leadership phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with a man who I believe is the most respected and the leader. It's a little tough. They've wiped out everybody.
Is that the Supreme Leader?
No, not the Supreme Leader. We don't. Well, nobody heard of the second Supreme Leader, the son. We have not heard from the son. Every once in a while you see a statement made, but we haven't. We don't know if he's living. But the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President,
I can't.
Mr. President, I know you
Because I don't want them to be killed. Okay, I don't want them to be killed.
Mr. President,
Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now. You know, nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country. But perhaps we'll be able to solve that problem.